Welcome to all you Virgos. This is your yearly horoscope of 2020, and I want to have this reading to be practical, as you know, Virgos like it. And I don't want it to be too long, that you can remember, look, these are very important things that might be happening for me in 2020. Of course, these are general horoscopes, remind you of that. But there are some pretty good things happening for the Virgos. I'm so glad that this Jupiter square Neptune is gone, because of course you will still have Neptune in your opposite sign. And Neptune is still in the seventh house of relationships. Not all of you will feel that very strongly, especially now that Jupiter is gone of that aspect, because that was making it quite some confusing there. But some Virgos will feel the Neptune quite strongly. And that will be the Virgos who've got planets between 16 and 20 degrees of Virgo. So what I'm talking about now, these are the Virgos that were born around and about the 9th up until the 13th of September. They will feel it the most. That relationship, it's a bit foggy there. So the thing is, don't try to fix him or her in a relationship. And if you've got an eye on someone, don't try to do too much things that are not going to hold your integrity. Because the things that are confusing when you are in the midst, the thing you want to advise to do is just slow down. Having said that, on a relationship level, for all the other Virgos, it's quite okay. There's not something drastic going on there. But the thing that is fantastic for Virgos is that Jupiter shifts into Capricorn. That is a relief, because you've been having Saturn and Pluto in your fellow Earth sign of Capricorn in your fifth house, but also with the South Node there. So for some of you, when it came to children, projects, love affairs, it's been hard. There have been happening some karmic stuff there, especially like September, July, when Saturn was very close to the South Node. But this is gone. Even though you're still gonna have eclipses in January, in those signs, this is different because now Jupiter is there. Jupiter will be conjunct with the South Node. So you will see actually the opposite of what happened to you in September of 2019, because now there is like more meaning, the rewards, the positive karma that comes in. So there could be something positive happening to you with a child. There could be something positive happening to you when it comes to love, that you shifted, you released so much old attitude when it comes to love, that now, yes, there comes in a new love for you. It is possible. Although that Neptune there that I just talked about, still Jupiter in the fifth house is very good for love. It could also mean a new hobby now, or you having a lot of meaning, of more enjoyment for sure for the Virgos. So this is great, especially those Virgos who are going to have that, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn conjunction, so to speak, are very close to each other. These are the Virgos who have planets around 21, 23 to 23, 24, 25 degrees of Virgo, which are the ones that have a birthday around the 15th of September and onwards. So up until the 22nd of September, those Virgos in particular will have that positive energy that I just described of your fifth house. So with children, or with love, or with a project that you're doing, or maybe a business that you're building up. And this is trine energy. This is fantastic. Having actually Jupiter for the whole year in Capricorn, although of course astrology is saying Jupiter is in its not in its strongest position in Capricorn. That is true, but it trines your energy. This is fantastic. Also for playing the lottery, by the way. But I don't want to say this too much, of course, because this is very individual. But you could even win the lottery actually when you're having this in your personal horoscope going very well between the fifth house there is certainly the first house of you. Certainly when you do some taking a calculated risk, let's put it that way, after all it's Pluto and Saturn in your fifth house, you could gain some good fortune there. So having said that, that's the most important thing actually for the Virgos happening for you. For another part of you Virgos, you're gonna have Uranus trining your sign. So if you've got planets in Virgo between 2 and 10 degrees, you're having Uranus trining your sign from the ninth house. That means that because your philosophy changes, your way of perspective changes, you can change your identity, you can change your job. So if you do want to have a job with a bit more freedom there, it's definitely on. And what kind of Virgos are these? Well, if you're born between the 25th of August up until, let's say, the very beginning of September. So up until the 4th of September, you will feel this, that you've got an opportunity to change quite drastically, rapidly when it comes to your identity. So you could make a trip or a travel abroad and have a lot of inspiration and new ideas. When it comes to work, dear Virgos, do something that is out of the ordinary, that other people are not doing, and you will gain a lot of success with that, especially the Virgos that I just mentioned in particular. Venus is going, the North Node is shifting into Gemini, and so is Venus staying a long time in Gemini as well. For you, this is again very significant, as Gemini is your 10th house. It's the highest point of your horoscope, so it's work. And if you're saying I'm not working, it's how you want to be seen by the world. Having Venus there is fantastic, although it does square up with Neptune, so stay with the Virgo feet on the ground there. But you could get help from a female when it comes to work. There could be someone that you meet, because the North Node is going to conjoin also with that Venus around the first week of August. So there could be some meeting there with someone that has to do with work, that has to do with helping you out. So Venus will be there exceptionally long, from April up until the first week of August. So there is possibility of you being seen there, and you, because it's retrograde, it doesn't mean to say that it's negative. The retrograde shows it's a longer period of time that it's over there. So again, when it comes to work, keep the feet on the ground. You may dream big, yes, but keep the feet on the ground. When you work with someone, again, don't make sure that you're doing all the work. That's the only pitfall that there is actually. On the other hand, it can give you growth in your work, it can give you charm. When you're looking for a new job, it's definitely a good time to do so. When you ask for a promotion, it's a good time to do so. When Venus goes direct, but I'll do that in a monthly horoscopes. But of course, I know that you are probably interested in knowing that it's the end of June when Venus goes direct. So quite a lot of areas of your life that are stimulated here. And last but not least, Mars in your 8th house for a tremendous long time, from July up until December. That does suggest that there is a lot of time for you to transform. There's a lot of time for you that because maybe of a child, because of a project, of a lover, you really transform on a deep psychological level from the inside out, and you can battle some fears, dear Virgos, with Mars in your 8th house. Now you've got the time for that. Yes, that can be a bit stressful in the beginning for sure, but I think for you Virgos, you can take your time into really transforming maybe, as I said, a fear that you have for a long time, to battle that. Again, you've got the time to do this. It can also that you work hard for getting value from other people, and of course you have to gain value from yourself first and foremost, but you could work harder for getting a loan, for getting maybe expertise from someone else there. So really, really interesting. But those other things that I just said are way more important for you. These are more key areas of your life. So Virgo, in general, you've got a lot of outer planets in earth signs that are helping you, like that Uranus that I talked about, like that Jupiter that I talked about. It's not going to be that stressful anymore. I think you had your peace. Certainly 2019 with Jupiter square Neptune was hard for some Virgos, especially when it comes to connections with other people, but also when it comes to their key areas of their life, even work. Might have been a bit stressful there with a confusion, but now that's gone for most of you. Enjoy that. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very good year, dear Virgos, and put the emphasis on work with the North Node shifting into, as from May, into your 10th house. It's time to focus a bit more on what you're all about. And of course, that doesn't mean to say to neglect your family, but put a bit of emphasis on what you're all about. Having said that, have a good year. Bye-bye.